I'm Pam Dyson. I'm with the St. Louis Center for Play Therapy Training. You caught me in a moment of trying to relax. Did you see all the bubbles I was blowing? There's something very relaxing about bubbles. They're light, they're airy, they float, and as they come down, they go very slowly. And not only is blowing bubbles relaxing, but even just observing them and watching them float down can be relaxing as well. So I use bubbles a lot to help children learn how to relax. Usually, as a general rule of thumb, when you blow bubbles, what does a child want to do? Run and grab them and stomp on them and go fast, fast, fast to try to get them all. And I usually let them begin in that way so they get all of that out of their system. And then we talk about doing it more slowly and more deliberately. We might sit on the floor and blow them straight up in the air and have them come down on us. And we watch them as they come down and resist the urge to pop them. Or I might blow them out and catch one on the end of my wand. If I can get some to blow here, I'll show you what I mean. Sometimes when you want them to blow, they don't. Which can certainly be a test in frustration tolerance as well. And do we have the patience to wait for them to blow? Those were so small I couldn't catch them. We'll try again. Oops, there's one. And I might say, okay, I've got one. I want you to pop it with your pinky finger. I'll tell them ahead of time which body part I want them to pop it with. I like these little bottles. They're a little easier control. If you're in a smaller room, you might not have as much sticky residue after the fact. Plus, if this gets spilled, and the odds of it getting spilled are quite high, it's not going to make quite as big of a mess as a regular size bottle of bubbles. And these are good sizes to send home with kids and parents as well, so they can practice bubble blowing at home. So what I also teach kids, and I teach parents how to do this too, because we have to practice ways of relaxation and learning particular ways of breathing in order to blow bubbles properly to help us relax. And when we blow from up here, a shallow breath, and we blow quickly and fast, we might get a lot of bubbles, but we might get a lot of little bubbles when we do that. Or we might not get any at all. See that? So what I teach children is to breathe down deeper from in their diaphragm and take a big, deep breath, and you'll get different bubbles. You'll get bigger ones, and you'll probably get more of them as well. We got a few more, and they last a little bit longer. So it's a great way to teach them that deep breathing that we need them to do when they're feeling anxious. And I know what you're thinking. Well, that's all great and good, but what happens when the child's in the middle of the day at school and they're feeling anxious and they need to regulate their breathing and there's no bubbles around? If you practice a lot with bubbles, when a child's in a good mood and willing to work on those breathing techniques and those breathing strategies, then what we're hoping is that when they're in a moment when they need to breathe deeply and they don't have access to bubbles, they'll be able to visualize what it's like and remember what it feels like to take those deep breaths, to get those bubbles to blow out big and to get them to blow out slowly. So it's a process that we have to teach. We have to talk a lot when we're teaching it about what it feels like in your body when you breathe shallow and when you breathe more deeply. So to think about how you can use bubbles to teach kids self-calming, self-regulation, breathing skills. And it's so important to not only teach it to a child, but to teach it to their caregiver as well, so that they can practice it with them at home. And if a parent is doing it, they're modeling it for a child as well. So we're really helping a child to come up with some good coping strategies to regulate their breathing. You could do a similar thing with a pinwheel. Most children will put a pinwheel directly in front of their face and blow really hard. And you're certainly going to get it to spin, but it's that, once again, it's that breathing from way up high. It's shallow breathing. It's not deep breathing. So what we'll do is gradually use our arm to move it out to different lengths, and you're going to have to take a much deeper breath in order to blow a pinwheel when you're holding it out at a greater distance. So it'll have to be a deeper breath, and you're going to have to blow it out for a much longer time, which is certainly another way to regulate your breathing. So eventually the goal is to get it all the way out here and be able to do it. It takes a little bit of practice. So it's kind of like the bubbles. I send the pinwheel home. I share with the parents or the caregivers on how to practice pinwheel bowling at home with their child. And then when their child is in a situation where they don't have access to their pinwheel or they don't have access to their bubbles, they could certainly hold their arm out and visualize that pinwheel down there and remember the deep breathing that we practiced and using that to blow the pinwheel. And pretty soon they're focusing on the whole process, and it can certainly eliminate or at least alleviate some of that anxiety that they're feeling and help them regulate their breathing again. So it's springtime here in St. Louis, a great time to buy pinwheels, a great time to buy bubbles, and use those as ways to help teach children how to regulate their breathing. If you liked my play therapy tips today and you want to learn more, I have lots of links to Pinterest, to my YouTube channel, to my Facebook page, to my blog. It's all at stlplaytherapy.com. And if you have questions about the play therapy training that we offer here in St. Louis, or that we can bring to your location if you're interested in having someone come in and present on play therapy, please send me an email at pam@stlplaytherapy.com. And I look forward to hearing from you.